What is up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again. Guys, we have a 2007 Tony Stewart primary Home Depot Chevy in the studio today from the Winter Circle line. You know, we've been doing a lot of the new current day Winter Circle era diecast, so why not go back to 2007? Let's check out this Tony Stewart diecast. Alright, so as you can see, this is in the hard plastic Formula card back. It's not a clamshell because it's actually sealed. It does not open. If you open this, you have to rip it open. And you might be thinking, okay, DB, why would you want to open up one of these diecasts? It's been around for 18 years. Why destroy it? Here's the reality. It's an overproduced car. 2007 was a very, very overproduced car for a lot of the primary cars because they were transitioning to the COT. Let's just be honest. Once 2008 rolled around, you didn't want this diecast. You wanted the 2008 COTs. You wanted the new Tony Stewart Toyota Camrys. You know what I'm saying? So these got produced already in a crap load. But by 2008, they were just peg warming. So, yeah, that's kind of the story for a lot of the 2007 primary cars. They're very overproduced. This one appears to actually fell off a shelf or some sort of display, because the bottom of it is the bottom plastic is bent. So if it was like on a shelf and it fell down and crunch, that's the telltale sign. So that's already damaged. And then you have a pretty gnarly scuff right here. So this one's already damaged. It's a overproduced car. It's damaged. That's my favorite ones to open up because I don't want to open up a car that's not overproduced, that's difficult to find, and it's in a great condition, right? So I try to go for these only. And we're going to show the packaging real quickly. Believe it or not, I actually did a diecast review on this car about 3 or 4 years ago, but it was the loose version. It wasn't the sealed version. So you got Tony Stewart right there, number 20. You got your 2007 schedule, which is absolutely amazing, by the way. This was a new style of packaging that Winter Circle debuted in 2007. We're going to show a 2006 card back. This one's seen much better days. But they went from the cardboard back ones to the plastic ones. Probably because people were opening them in the retail stores, I would imagine. These are significantly better for the retail stores in terms of, security. But from a collector standpoint, it's a pain in the butt to open. And to be honest with you, when you cut these open, the plastic is so sharp, you might as well wear some gloves because you can easily hurt yourself, unfortunately. But at the same time, when you have one of these sealed, nobody has touched this car because there's no way to open it without destroying it. So the back end of the piece here, you have a little bit of information about the driver. You have obviously the team, driver, the number. You have the Chevrolet manufacturer, Joe Gibbs Racing. This was the final year Joe Gibbs Racing was with Chevy. Car owner, obviously. Birthday, and you have hometown. So that's pretty cool. Kind of a little bit of a backstory, a brief backstory to who the driver is. I missed that. I don't know why they don't do this with the current drivers. Like, it's literally so easy to do. But I feel like they did this all the time in the 2000s. But you never see it nowadays. Like, if you're just buying a Winter Circle diecast, which I'm going to grab one right here. Let's just say you went to the store and you bought a 2020s era Winter Circle diecast. Would it really hurt to put like the basics for the driver, a Christian Eckes, someone that a lot of people have never watched race? A lot of people only watch the Cup Series. Statistics show that. They only watch the Cup Series. You might not have any idea who Christian Eckes is. So if you picked up this diecast, it would be really cool if they had a little area right here, because I feel like there's a lot of room they could move things around to make it work, but have just a brief description of the driver, what team they drive for, what year they were born, their hometown, maybe a little fun fact. Something like that I think would be fantastic to put in the Winter Circle line, because almost every single diecast that was produced in the 2000s had some sort of a short driver description. They did it even in the 90s. So enough of me rambling. I'm going to actually go ahead and open this up. And yes, you have to cut it to open it up, or you pull this little tab, I think here. No. Okay, they added that later on. There was I think it was 2008 or 2009. There was a little tab here you could pull, and it already had, what do they call it? The little dotted line where it kind of lets the plastic peel and tear alongside that. This was before then. This is back when people were complaining how difficult these are to open. And yes, the corner is damaged up here as well, so I don't mind opening up. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, fellas, so I got that one opened up. As you can see, there's a little bit of dirt on my hands. Yeah, that packaging is like in 30 different pieces. I'm kidding. Anyway, so we have this diecast here in the studio, and what a beautiful diecast it is. The classic Tony Stewart's 2000s Home Depot Chevrolet Monte Carlo, and this one is fantastic, man. So one thing that I do notice is the interior is a little bit yellowed here, the dashboard. It's actually a separate form of plastic, so that's why certain areas of the car won't yellow, like the window net, for example. That looks pristine, but the dashboard is already yellowed. They're two different forms of plastic, so naturally they both age differently, as plastics, it's different. It's a combination of different oils and chemicals they use to make plastics. So anyways, you can see how shiny the windows are. This thing is absolutely fantastic. And I want to quickly compare the clear coat real quick to a 2006 one. And the clear coat for the 2006 one is actually a whole lot better. Look how shiny the 2006 diecast, which is the one on the right, and look at the one on the left. And I think the reason for this is they were making probably some cost cutting. Now, they still used this 2006 style clear coat, but it was even better than this on the pit stop edition of these cars, which was basically the Gold Series for 2007. So you've got it in the closable or reclosable and closable box. You would get the enamel style clear coat, but this one's kind of it's definitely closer to an enamel style, but it's not true enamel. It is super shiny. Now, one little thing I wanted to compare as we kick off this diecast review, look at the bottom 20 car and look at the little 2 right here. You'll see some lines in it. I'm not sure if that's decal cracking or that is a factory error, because there's a little bit of a hiccup right here. There's like a little bump. So I don't know if something just wasn't done right or it's actually cracking. Believe it or not, the 2002 Robbie Gordon diecast, which has a pretty similar paint or decal wrap as this, the orange portions of the 2002 Robbie Gordon Singular 124 Primary is actually already cracking. So that's the unfortunate thing, is we're starting to see the 2000s cars starting to age. I don't know if the 164s are starting to age yet. That might have just been an anomaly. From what I could see here, I don't see any cracking on this one. So maybe that's an anomaly. If you have a 2006 Tony Stewart, if you want to, feel free to look at it and let me know if it has any aging. What it is the brighter the color, so like, fluorescent orange, bright white, bright yellow, those paints are a little bit more fragile and they crack. I see this on a lot of like year 2000 Mark Martins, maybe some some Johnny Benson diecasts from year 2000. They're aging pretty fast because a lot of them are white paint schemes on a Team Caliber car, and Team Caliber in those years, they were not exactly the best for the most expensive quality, let's just say the least. So you go to the front of the car here, got your contingencies there, very, very sharp. Got the number 20, Monte Carlo, got your lower valence that matches up perfectly with the side skirts. Just a really mean looking race car, man. A lot of memories from NASCAR 08, because you could choose to run the Gen 4, which is this, or you could run the COT. And the COT is probably the reason why this car was never even opened, because if this was already a highly produced car, because it's one of the most popular drivers in NASCAR history at the peak of the sport, pretty much. But if this was sitting in a retail store in I don't know, spring, maybe summer 2008, who's going to buy it? You're going to go buy the COTs. You're going to go buy the Jeff Gordons, the Tony Stewarts, the Dale Jr.s. You're going to go buy all those COT diecasts because that's what they were running. They were only running COTs in 2008. So a lot of people already had this car. They really didn't have a use for it. So what happens is they sit there, they peg warm, they go to a clearance bin, someone buys them, they put them in their collection, it sits there for a half decade, goes to another person, blah, 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 and somehow it ends up in this jabroni studio. That's besides the point. Got a little bit of some dirt or something on the 20 here. That's something I have noticed with sealed die-casts that have not been opened from the Winter Circle line. They usually have a defect. And what my theory is, what happened is someone saw some of these cars, like let's say it had a massive decal fold. Someone saw it in the store and they're like, well, it's got a decal error, I'm not going to buy that one. So naturally it got skipped on and they bought another variant of it at first. So my advice is, if you're going to buy a sealed Winter Circle diecast from maybe the late 2000s, and this could be for any era diecast really, but make sure to look at it a little bit closer, because the reason why it probably wasn't opened and bought initially in the 2000s or wherever it was made is it might have had some decal flaws. I have a Jeff Gordon 2008 car, and it has a massive decal error. I bought it brand new. You know, I didn't buy it in like the year it was made. It was like 2019 or year 2020 when I bought it. But it was an '08 Jeff Gordon. I don't know why I'm rambling, but I feel like that was relevant to this video somehow. Home Depot got a ton of contingencies there. Number 20 B post decal, got smoke. Go to the back into the car. Home Depot once again, and this is actually a different diecast mold than the '03 to '05 era Monte Carlos, believe it or not. A lot of those cars, they ran a different diecast mold. It's a little bit, not really bulkier, but it's not as sleek and as aerodynamic. And the telltale sign, I want to briefly touch on this, is there'll be a center hood line on the '03 to '05 variant. That's the quickest way to tell what year model your Chevrolet Monte Carlo is for the 1/64 scale, is there's going to be a center line here. If you have a center line, it's a '03 to '05. If it's not there and it kind of has this V pattern shaped hood, that's a '06 to '07 model Chevrolet Monte Carlo. That's the quickest way to tell, because, you know, for the most part, a '05 Jeff Gordon and a '06 Jeff Gordon primary look virtually identical to most fans. Let's just be honest. It looks almost identical to me. But those are the little telltale signs. There's a little bit of a decal oopsie-doo right here you could see. And this is what I talked about. Usually the cars that are not opened yet, they have errors because someone noticed it at the store, and it, you know, the next person saw it, and the next person saw it. And then it ended up on the clearance bin aisle. Now, I don't think you could even notice it if it was in the plastic clamshell. Let me grab it real quick. I don't think you could notice it because you had I already removed the cardboard backing, but I don't think you could probably really tell it had an error. So I think it's just, I don't know, just randomness that I got that one. Go to the top of the car, number 20 again. I don't see the decal cracking in it, so maybe I just got an anomaly. Not sure. Go to the back deck lid of the car, and you have the Home Depot once again. I tell you, one of the most iconic paint schemes in NASCAR history, and yes, I already did a diecast review on this, but that was the loose version. I wanted to do the Winter Circle packaging and opening it up and all that good stuff and do it on video, and it's an overproduced car. So, I mean, literally, you could go anywhere, and there's plenty of '07 Tony Stewart's mint sealed in the package. Same with the 2006 model. And the 2006 one, look at the Home Depot. It's definitely a little bit transparent. So, I don't know. Which one looks better? Because the orange looks like just a fraction brighter on the 2006. The clear coat is a little bit sharper. I don't know. The wheels are a little bit different, too. Like, the print looks better on the '07s than the '06. So, that's fascinating. Enough of me rambling. We're going to show the schedule piece right here. I mean, look at that schedule. I mean, crazy. 2 races at Texas, 2 races at, oh my goodness, Pocono, Dover, Michigan. I mean, they had this schedule right here, almost verbatim for like 15 years. They barely changed it. They would, one less Atlanta race, one less Fontana race. They would add Kentucky. I mean, very minimal changes they made to the 2007 style schedule. And then like 2020 came around, and they just, every year they just made gigantic changes. And the reason why they didn't change the schedule much is the tracks had contracts with NASCAR. The tracks were not owned by NASCAR at this time. They were owned by, ISC, and there's another company. There was 2 major track companies. And inevitably, NASCAR had a contract with them, so they would be, okay, we're gonna have 2 Texas races on the schedule for the next 7 years. So no matter how bad the racing may have gotten, they had to keep them on the schedule because they were already under contract. Well, NASCAR said, screw it, we're going to buy them instead. And that's how the schedules really started to open up around 2019, 2020, 2021, where all these crazy racetracks started showing up. Why, you see Bristol Dirt, COTA, Road America, Now they're going to Mexico City. You know, all these things happen because they actually bought out the track companies, and they don't have to deal with the contract, shenanigans, so to speak. That's all for now. Thank you all for watching. Have a blessed one, everybody. Diecast Buffet signing off.